Hello, beautiful people. Welcome another Sunday to this beautiful conversation with myself, Nana Yaya Boa. In this podcast episode that I'm doing alone, most of the time you see me do interviews. I'm going to talk about resilience, building resilience in uncertain times, finding creative solutions for success. Last week I spoke about another subject, which is, finding ways and means to cope in these uncertain times. So I hope you sit with me today and let's go through building resilience in these uncertain times, creative solutions for success. The world has always gone through all these changes. There have been difficulties all throughout, and we as human beings try to find solutions, ways, and means of making things um, okay, right? So we always find creative ways of making things go okay. And the world has always been in a flux. We've always had something going. It doesn't matter which part of the world you live in or have lived in. For instance, my background in Ghana, at a certain point with all the coup d'etats in Ghana, at a certain point with all the coup d'etats in Ghana, it had people traveled, people died, there was hunger, there was famine. In previous times, even here in Canada, the war of 1812, people's life were disjointed. The Civil War in the Americas, as human beings, there's always been something going on with us. But if we don't learn to build resilience, that is where our challenges come from. Now, I am trying to live through these turbulent times, trying to make sense of what many times is not, sensible, but I cannot just live without having meaning to my life. And so I hope that these conversations that I am bringing to you on Sundays, you and I, all of us, can find a semblance of normalcy, look at the world going on around us, and create this, have these real conversations about the life, about challenges, and about success. And so, um, resilience in uncertain times, it's a real deal. We have economic and global instability, charting, we're going through uncharted waters that we haven't been, maybe this generation haven't gone through, and our children's generation haven't gone through in a little while. And so, in talking about resilience, I'm not talking about us avoiding hardship, because hardships are real. I am talking about us rising stronger every time we go through these challenges. It's very, very important. So I pray that you stick with me and let's break it down to creative and actionable solutions. So, number one is understanding resilience. So, resilience is just more than bouncing back, right? It's about adapting, it's about growing, it's about thriving despite the challenges. And trust me, the challenges are real. We all feel it differently. Some of us are more resilient than others. Some of us are more optimistic than others because we've built those shock absorbers. Some of us are more creative than others. All these are human elements or shock absorbers in uncertain times, in difficult times that some of us have built. And as we've building, we want to share with others that these are some of the ways, the methods that you can also, build these shock absorbers. So let's look at this. Let's look at this. That the more you think about thriving in challenges, it's like a muscle. The more you become adept and stronger in coasting through. You need to train and get stronger and get creative and get through these challenges. So let's look at the 2008. If you were ever there during the 2008 financial crisis, where many entrepreneurs and businesses lost, many people lost their businesses. It was a trying time, right? But some pivoted, switching industries. Some had micro skills or learned micro skills and reinvented themselves. So, what I'm saying is that today we must do the same. We must do the same. Look at tangible micro skills that make sense. We are in the world of artificial intelligence, AI. So if you need to reskill yourself in AI, which is various industries, look into it, do the research, right? Number two, finding creative strategies for financial and career resilience. Um, some industries will be greatly affected by this because there are tariffs on aluminium, on dairy, on a whole host of items, and in general, it's impacting our lives. So let's look at looking at different and multiple streams of income, starting a side hustle. Sometimes we talk about side hustles as little things, but side hustles can become main hustles. And there was a young lady that I was listening to her story. That side started a side hustle as a financial educator. This side hustle became a full time job, which she is still doing right now because we need that knowledge. We need that information. And I hope to bring on the podcast, conversations about financial, planning, most especially in these challenging times, because we need to have a handle over ourselves and figure it out. So a side hustle may be you may sell, handmade products, offer online services, or monetize a skill. If you haven't watched my previous video, go watch it, which is that one of the side hustles that I said, it depending on where you live. If you need, you can do dog walking for people that are unable. You can also do house cleaning if you are good at cleaning. You can, if you are good at organizing, you can put all these skills into play. If you're home and you can babysit, you can have a small babysitting whereby you can help, mothers and fathers or families that need this childcare services, providing safe, childcare services for these children, for their parents to go to work. So you earn a little bit and they also are able to earn. So we have so many things, skills at our fingertips that we need to sit back, write it down and see how we can come up with creative solutions. Sometimes it's during these process times of difficulty and toughness that we emerge, companies or industries are created. See, one of the things that have also come into light a lot these days are, for instance, having a YouTube channel. Some people have created it as a business channel, which there's nothing wrong with that. For instance, some may be watching this conversation on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Instagram Live, wherever you're watching it. I'd like to say a big thank you. But you can similarly create something like that. And if you want information or steps how to do that, you can send me a message on whatever platform that you are watching from, and I can help you with that. The other thing is that, you can consider freelance work through Upwork or Fiverr. These are for the creatives that can do graphic design and, editing and whatnot. If you have the time or you can create the time and put those skills to work. It is important. People need the skills, companies need the skills. Um, but they are unable to hire full time. So these are ways that you can, create side hustles. And Upwork and Fiverr, for instance, have been there for a very long time. That many people work full time there and are living. So you could also take a look at it and see what will work for you. Well, if you have not met me, my name is Nana Yayabua, and yes, I host the podcast Nana Yayabua Show. I would really love for you to subscribe to help grow this channel to the level that it needs to go to. And for those that are returning, I say a very big thank you for being with me on this journey. It's not been an easy journey, but it's been a rewarding and a beautiful journey. So let's talk about one of the other things we could do, which is we can upskill and we can adapt. Upskilling and adaptability. As human beings, we've always adapted. If you look at my skin, it is dark skinned because it's an adaptation to the continent of Africa, to the tropics. We always adapt, whether biologically, culturally, socially. So there's that within us that we can always do. So it is very important for us to also bring it to the fore that adaptability is needed in our lives. And how do we adapt? We adapt by upscaling, which is you can go online, Google, find out or take a free, affordable online course in high demand fields. If you don't know AI, research AI. Go online to Allison or any of those other courses. You'll find free courses. People are offering free courses on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok. Do the research, upgrade yourself, right? And also, one of the things I'll highly encourage is to network with professionals in industries that are growing. If it's the technology industry that is growing, network. Can you pivot? Yes, you can. There is always an overlap between everything. For instance, my background is nursing, but at the end of the day, I realized that AI is influencing, the health sector. Now, what kind of AI is influencing the health sector? That is the research I need to know and how it's applicable to me. And if I can upskill in that area, upskill in that area. I don't have to wait, right? Okay. Is it a possibility to be open to new career paths, or sometimes you see sometimes a detour will lead to a better destination? um Myself amongst other many other people get to be stuck, most especially when we are professionals within the healthcare. You go to school for so long and then you provide service, you trade your time for money for people, so you get stuck in those areas for so long. The question is, can we pivot? Yes, we can pivot. I myself can pivot into teaching. Have I done so yet? No. Is it a possibility? Yes. At a certain point, I'll think about it. Yeah. So we need to rethink in those terms as well. The third conversation I'm going to have is about money. It's about money. And these are conversations that are very critical. Um, Money drives us. With all these tariffs, it's impacting our pockets. If you go grocery shopping, it is killing. But we need to eat. We need to pay our bills. Our bills are not going down, they're going up, up and up and up. So we need to figure out our, financial management. We need to make smart decisions with the little that we have. We need to increase it. We need to prioritize, which is s- start saving. I think my other conversation last week, I talked about saving. Start small. If it's $5, $10, $20, $25, start small. Start from somewhere. And it's not easy. I understand. I know it's not easy. Sometimes your mortgage will bounce, yes. Sometimes you cannot pay your water bill. Sometimes your how do we call it? What's the name? Your phone bills, internet. Yes, I understand. But we still need to figure it out and start from somewhere, which includes reducing expenses creatively. We can swap, we can trade, and budget wisely. Like if you have clothes that you're not wearing and you can sell it at a discount, $1, $2, $3 on some of these platforms like Carrot or Facebook Market or whatnot, I suggest you do so. If you don't need to shop, don't shop. All right. Then we also need to find passive income opportunities. Well, at this point in time, I don't know how many of us have, extra income that we could say that we are investing in stocks or rental properties. But at a certain point, if you have done your financial planning, if you have budgeted and you have that um, a little bit of extra, a 50 or 100 at the end of the month to put away, the suggestion is to look into, you know, buying stocks. Oh my goodness. So let's talk about emotional and mental resilience. Remember, resilience is not about running away from the problem. Resilience is about finding ways of coping, of adapting, of finding creative solutions to the problem we are facing in this world right now, right? So whether you're having a financial or career struggles, it can take a toll on our mental health. And I'm going to share with you some of the strategies to stay grounded. The strategies I use to stay grounded is the paintings I do. So I do these abstract painting art for therapy, and that is me personally. It helps me offload, unpack, right? One thing you can also do is to practice gratitude. Be grateful you were able to wake up this morning. Be grateful the weather is changing, it's getting warmer. Be grateful to see the sunlight. Be grateful when you wake up and you still have a job to go to. Be grateful when your family is doing okay. All of them are well. Be grateful you can open the tap and have clean drinking water, right? So, gratitude each day when you wake up, start with at least two or three things that you are grateful for before you step out of the bed. And it's really good if you could write it out. You can go to the dollar store, get a gratitude journal, or get a notebook and write what you are grateful for when you wake up. I remember when I was with public health, and when we do scrum, at the end of the scrum, I ask, individuals to say what they're grateful for. And somebody may be grateful for the sun that is shining, for their family, for the coffee, a cup of coffee that they were able to buy before they got into work. And I saw the change in the energy of the nurses from dull and negative to very beautiful and positive. So imagine when you come into your workspace with this positivity, how it is received by patients or clients coming into your space. We feel it. So, as much as you're doing this gratitude for yourself, you also doing it for the world around you. Because of this, we need to be mindful. We need to be mindful of the stress in our lives. And that is where meditation comes through. So it doesn't matter from which background you come from, you can meditate. Find time to get into yourself, to focus on you, to let everything go out of your mind. In the beginning, it will be difficult. But as you become, averse in practicing meditation, it gets, better and better. I think there are apps that sound headspace or so that you could use to help you meditate. And also you could Google meditation on YouTube, and there are so many, ways that it can show you a different forms of meditation you could use. The other thing is journaling. Offload. We all need to offload. We cannot keep everything in us. We all need to offload. So journaling help us offload all the craziness in our lives and get to some form of sanity, right? Or even a daily walk can make a difference. For the walks, it's still cold, but even if you can do stationary walk around your home, you can do stretches. Move your body. It helps with clarity. Movement is very, very important. Likewise, is also being able to set small, achievable goals because success builds momentum. So, if you have a big task ahead of you, create it into bite sizes. Do a little bit at a time. It helps with coping. It's not easy. Nobody said it's easy, but it is doable. If, as human beings, we were able to go through the Great Depression, if we overcame COVID, we will overcome this period of time as well. So, for those of you who tuned in, thank you once again. I want to remind you that resilience isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving. So all these suggestions is how do we thrive through these financial difficulties? It is about building resilience. So if you feel stuck, if you feel overwhelmed, right? Remember that every setback carries the seed of a comeback. Every setback carries the seed of a comeback. So, what is the one action that you will take today, no matter where you are in the world? What is that one action that you will take today to build resilience in your life? Think about it. I cannot do it for you. Your mother cannot do it for you. Your father cannot do it for you. Your children will not be able to do it for you, but you can do it for yourself. And when you're able to do it, teach others as well. So you can DM me at Nana Yayabua Show or Nana Yayabua Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and on LinkedIn, and share the one thing that you are going to do to make that change in your life. Share your thoughts, share your comments. And if you found this episode, if you found this conversation helpful, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with somebody who needs this encouragement today. Until next time, stay strong, stay hopeful, and keep pushing forward. You got it. We got it. I got it. As I'm learning, I'm sharing with you. So as you learning, you also share with the next person who will need it. My name is Nanaya Yabwa. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me. I will see you again next Sunday, and let's talk about optimism in this period of time that is so crazy. See ya.